Today we're going to talk about equivalent equations. Whatever we take off or put on one side, we must do to the other side in order for both sides to be the same. If we rearrange on one side, it doesn't affect the weight on the other side. There are two properties we're going to go over today. The first one is the addition property of equality, and that tells us that if A is equal to B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. So whatever we add to this side, we must add the exact same thing to the other side. This also works for subtraction, the subtraction property of equality. It says if A is equal to B, then A minus C is equal to B minus C. Whatever we subtracted on one side, we must subtract the exact same thing on the other side. If we take a look at example 1, we have x minus 9 is equal to negative 17. What we want to do is we want to solve for x. Since we are subtracting 9 from both sides, what we want to do is we want to make that 0. So the opposite of subtracting would be to add. So I'm going to add 9 to the left side. And if I add 9 to the left, I have to also add 9 to the right side. So on this side, minus 9 and a positive 9, combining like terms, will leave us with just the x by itself. So here I'm left with x. I'm going to bring down my equal sign, equals. And then on the right-hand side, I have negative 17 plus 9, which will give me a negative 8. So I know that x is equal to negative 8. Now, one of the things you can always do is check your answer. You can check your answer on your calculator, or you can check it by hand. In order to check it, you want to take what you had for your answer. So I'm going to take this negative 8, and I'm going to plug it back in for my x in the original problem to see if things come out the same. It looks like this. I'm replacing the x with negative 8, what I solved for, minus 9, and I want to know, is that equal to negative 17? Well, if I take negative 8 and subtract 9, I do get negative 17, equal to negative 17. So that checks out. That tells me that my answer is right. Let's do another one. Let's look at letter B. Letter B, I have 15 equals negative 12 plus y. My variable is on the right-hand side. My variable is on the right, which means I have to get rid of this negative 12. Since it's a negative, to make 0, I need a positive. So I'm going to go ahead and add 12 to this side. And if I add 12 to the right, I must also add 12 to the left. And then I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. On the left-hand side, I have 15 plus 12, which will give me 27. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. And then on the right-hand side, this negative 12 and positive 12, if I add those together, I get 0. So all I'm left with is y. And my answer is y equals 27. I can check my answer as well over here. So if I check it, my left-hand side is 15 equal to negative 12 plus, in place of my y, I'm going to put the 27. And negative 12 plus 27 is 15. So I get 15 is equal to 15, and that checks out. I know I did my problem correctly. I want to give you a chance now to try some on your own. So go ahead and pause your video and do the try this. Unpause it when you have the answer. If you did these right, number 1, you should have gotten x to equal negative 6. And number 2, you should have gotten n to equal 17. If you did not get these answers, please raise your hand and I'll come around and help you.